Hello and welcome back to another PAP Reports. Today's Thursday the 23rd of January 2020 and today we start again with an update, this time to a report from yesterday's video. It appears that the hearing was being held for PC Julie Wilby while I was making the video and the result of her misconduct hearing was announced yesterday afternoon. So just a brief recap, PC Wilby was caught arriving at work for duty and was asked for one reason or another to complete a breath test. She blew 35 milligrams, which is the legal limit. And based on the fact that she had drove 3 miles from her home to work, they said that PC Willoughby drove to work at a time when, on the balance of probabilities, she would have been over the legal limit to drive, and that she attended work and commenced her shift when she was unfit for duty, which would constitute a breach of standards of professional behaviour in respect of fitness for work, orders and instructions, and discreditable conduct. Now, the outcome of this misconduct hearing was that she was given a final written warning. Oh, sorry, you're waiting for me to say something else? No. This is a police constable, remember, not one of us lowly, scummy members of the public who would, of course, been banned and fined, not to mention the criminal charges or being taken to court for drink driving. Just a smack on the wrist for this one. Lucky girl. Next up, we have 27-year-old PC Matthew Glaysher, who in November pleaded guilty at Luton Crown Court to possession of extreme pornography. It was said that the images had been sent to Glaysher in a WhatsApp group he was a member of. Glaysher said, "I never sought out these images, nothing was done with malice or menace, and that the pornographic content was unsolicited." And he forgot the images were on his phone, also putting forward the argument that he was not paying attention to what was being sent in the group. So just exactly what was it, Matty? You forgot the images were on your phone or you hadn't been paying attention? I think they're two very different scenarios, if you ask me. Now, the images were sent between the 1st of March 2016 and 27th of February 2017 while he was a special constable for Thames Valley Police. Detective Inspector Abby Revel told the disciplinary hearing that the judge had described the images as the worst of their kind and sentenced Glaysher to 9 months in prison, suspended for 18 months. While Hertfordshire Police Chief Constable Charlie Hall found his actions amounted to gross misconduct. Mr Hall said although Glaysher had not forwarded the vile messages, his actions were unbecoming of a police officer, and so Glaysher was dismissed from the force. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, surely if the images were the worst of their kind and he only got a suspended sentence, what kind of punishment or non-punishment did you give those who came before him with, maybe not so extreme but still extreme images? Would you give them a wedgie or a Chinese burn? Let's face facts, judges are some of the most sexually deviant people in the world. Most of them have got a dominatrix stored in their second mobile phone and a bunch of adult nappies in the bag in their spare wheel well of their Jaguar. Robert Ainscough, a sacked constable from the Police Service of Northern Ireland, has complained to the police ombudsman about the Belfast Telegraph revealing his address. Now, before you wonder why I'm reporting on why somebody's given out an address, let me explain. 34-year-old Ainscough from Dublin was convicted at Craigavon Crown Court in November, where he admitted 6 counts of misconduct in a public office and 13 charges of making indecent images of children, with all the offences committed on dates between February 2014 and September 2016. After Ainscough was arrested, an examination of his phone showed he had been exchanging sexually explicit messages, photos and videos with 3 women, including taking photographs of himself in Police Service Northern Ireland station toilets in full uniform with his knob out while on duty. He had also taken screenshots of a man he claimed he was about to arrest when sending one of the pictures to one of the women. Ainscough joked the man looked like a kung fu master. Prior to his convictions, the Belfast Telegraph published how he was living next to a popular family play park whilst on bail, which he believed to have been leaked by the PSNI. However, after the PSNI contacted the paper, it was revealed that his address was listed, in fact, on the court documents. While investigating the scale of his misconduct, officers discovered thousands of indecent images of children on pen drives, memory sticks, laptops and hard drives owned by Ainscough. In fact, Ainscough was found to be in possession of more than 16,000 indecent images of children and was jailed for 13.5 months. Not suspended. Now, come on, be honest, who just imagined me turning black and white and saying suspended in a sarcastic tone? Although Judge Roseanne McCormick, QC, ordered Ainscough, who was sacked by the PSNI in July 2017, to serve half his sentence in custody and half on probation. She also banned him from working with children and 10 years and imposed a decade-long sexual offences prevention order designed to protect the public. Now, at least the Irish courts are being a little more sensible. West Midlands Police Chief Constable Dave Thompson has offered an official apology to the family of 37-year-old nurse Lisa Skidmore, who was raped and murdered in 2016 by Leroy Campbell, who also attacked Lisa's 80-year-old mother before attempting to burn down the house with both the women inside. The apology comes in the wake of an inquest at Black Country Coroner's Court last year, where the police and probation staff were found to have made more than a minimal contribution to her unlawful death, stating that there were failures to document information and conduct basic checks, adding that there was no sufficient consideration given to the option of recalling Campbell to prison due to the fact that in the time between his release and Ms Skidmore's death, Campbell, 57, disclosed to probation he was experiencing low mood, negative thoughts and feelings that had led to his previous offences, but this key information was not shared. Chief Constable Dave Thompson, speaking during a strategic policing and crime board in front of both the brother and sister of Lisa, said he was deeply sorry for the failures which led to her death. He said, "I've seen some very sad days in 29 years as a police officer, but the day of Lisa's murder, and particularly when the attacker was identified, was amongst the saddest in that 29 years. West Midlands Police and the probation service are here to protect the public, and it's very clear that didn't happen in this case, and your family were not protected. So Lisa should not have been murdered or her mother attacked. Leroy Campbell should never have been in a position to repeat this crime, and the police and probation and the MAPA, which is the multi-agency public protection arrangement system, failed in regard to protection of the public." He went on to say, "So what I want to say to Lisa's family is that I'm sorry that we as West Midlands Police Force failed to protect your family. Deeply sorry. I apologise that we did not escalate the issues that were going on in this case to ensure decisive action was taken in the case, and we alongside probation colleagues will do better in future inside the multi-agency. I am deeply sorry this happened. Nothing can change what's happened, but we must ensure the police and probation service work together to ensure cases like this are prevented. I'm very sorry. I would like to say as Chief Constable how sorry I am that you are sat in this room today." Well, that's all right then, isn't it? As long as you've said sorry multiple times in one sentence. Now they can put it all behind them and move on, can't they? Scotland Yard have made a decision to discontinue stop and search community monitoring groups, which are, or were, backed by Lord Mayor of London's Office for Policing and Crime. On Monday, Commander Jane Connors, the Met's lead for Stop and Search, chaired a meeting with a number of community monitoring group chairpeople to discuss a way forward after Scotland Yard decided to discontinue these sessions at the end of October, citing legal responsibilities to safeguard people's rights under the Data Protection Act and General Data Protection Regulation. Okay then, Scotland Yard, you fuck knuckles. Everyone wants you to stop filming them using your facial recognition cameras as a safeguard to our rights under data protection and General Data Protection Regulation and under human rights legislation. Well, no, of course you won't. Because as always, there's one rule for you and another rule for us. But that's not even the real issue though, because the community monitoring groups are actually in place to visit police stations once a month to see body-worn video footage to ensure that police are following good practice. Katrina French, Chief Executive of charity Stopwatch, who previously chaired Islington's monitoring group, said it means scrutiny panels don't have the tools to ensure or instill confidence in the police because they can't see what they're doing. Adding, Anyone can write anything on paper. No one's going to say, I stopped him because he's black, but being able to see the body-worn video cameras means there is transparency about what's happened in that particular incident. Her comments come as stop and search statistics obtained by the Islington Gazette show that black African Caribbean and black British people have been stopped and searched nearly as many times as white Northern and Southern Europeans in Islington since January 2016. Now that's despite the fact Islington's black population is an estimated 12%, whereas the white population is about 74%. A Met spokesperson said, whilst we acknowledge the benefits of body-worn video, we have to observe our legal responsibilities to safeguard the rights of individuals. The Metropolitan Police Service values the work of CMGs, and we are committed to working with our community groups, MOPAC and other partners to explore ways of showing body-worn video as part of stop and search scrutiny. So this is the establishment trying to use the tools that were defined to protect us, that is GDPR and data protection, and twist it around to use against us. Anything to stop the world seeing what despicable deeds you're up to, eh? Rated the worst force in the country, Cleveland Police could be in line for a £10.4 million boost this year in order to help them put another 127 new police staff on the streets, with an overall £143 million being spent on policing over 2020 and 21. Police and Crime Commissioner Barry Coppinger has already said he has started recruiting new officers. Cleveland Police have had a plague of bad officers being outed over recent times, and on top of the report to suggest that Cleveland Police had failed in all areas of policing, it makes you wonder why they're considering new police for the area rather than a troubleshooter to take over and bring the standards of policing back up to a reasonable level. Could this be a case of throwing good money after bad? Coppinger has already said he won't be resubmitting himself for position of Police and Crime Commissioner this year due to the performance of the force last year. The government says the extra funding will be used to recruit more officers to tackle rising crime rates, which no doubt is being peddled to all the residents of Cleveland in order to get them on side, especially as council tax bills will have to be increased in order for the force to benefit from the full amount. So when the Home Office calls this increase in funding the biggest funding boost in a decade, it paints a picture that the government are paying this funding when in fact the residents of Cleveland will be footing much of the bill and giving more money to a police force that has yet shown much indication that its failings have or are being turned around. Levels of crime are said to have increased in Cleveland from 67,307 offences recorded by police in 2018 to 2019, up from 55,000 recorded in 2008-2009. But rather than simply take those numbers and panic, maybe the fact that we have more people living here in the UK now than we did in 2008 and 9, and the fact that it seems more and more police are committing crimes, maybe it would be less frightening increase if it were reported in percentages or with the other factors reported too, like how many people are now living in Cleveland compared to 10 years ago. Remember folks, although I'm not suggesting crime hasn't risen, I am suggesting that we are often fed numbers that will do the job the government want, whether it's to put us in fear or to put us at ease. It's unlikely the figures given are ever the real figures, as many factors are omitted or added without the need in order to give the desired effect on the public. As an example of this fact, it has been reported that Mr Coppinger will recommend the precept is increased by the maximum of £10 a year for a Band D property to ensure its budget goes up by the full amount, and Teesside can benefit from extra officers, bringing its total to 1,390 officers this year. This will be welcome news for local residents, he says, who want to see a more visible police presence in the community. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot really, considering all of the new police staff the force will get. But what about the increase to Band C, Band B and Band A? Or the more expensive council tax bands E, F, G and H? These have been omitted, in my opinion, in an attempt to hide the fact that those in lower bands are likely to struggle more, and those in the higher bands will have a significantly higher increase, and by omitting them from the reports saves many people from kicking up a fuss about it. And again, the omissions of facts helps to deliver figures that are more appealing to the public. If this was reported in a percentage and these being applied to all bands, then people will likely go a little mental. And yet again, as if to prove my point precisely, the Home Office says its plan represents an almost 10% increase for forces nationally if each police and crime commissioner increases its precept by the full amount, which indicates, without spelling it out, that the council tax bills for everyone is going to go up. But they've done it in a way that delays the panic by not telling people by how much. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.
Good night, all.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content and you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so. In the description of every video there are some links to ways that you're able to help support the channel so I can continue putting out content. If you're unable to help us in that way, hit that subscribe button up the top there. If you haven't already, become a subscriber. That is support enough. Share the videos, comment, like, it all helps. If you're looking for something else to watch, up top there is my latest video. Down the bottom there is a video that YouTube recommends for you.